Hello, I'm Sai. Welcome to second episode of YouTube sermon series presented by Reflection in Mirror Ministry. Today I want to share a story about two betrayals in the Gospels. 12 disciples of Jesus Christ ran away from him, and two of them betrayed him on the same day. One of his beloved students sold him, and the other one denied him 3 times. However, some interesting things happened after the betrayals. As a result of betrayal, one disciple ended his life, while the other one had started new life. Let's examine these two betrayal stories. Judas Iscariot, he was a wise man. He was practical and realistic and money-minded. Judas took care of all the money for the company of Jesus, maybe because Judas was good at calculation. We can find one episode in the Bible which tells us how practical and realistic and intelligent Judas was. I'll read the story for you. 6 days before the Passover festival, Jesus went to Bethany. That's where Lazarus lived, the man Jesus raised from the dead. There, they had a dinner for Jesus. Martha served the food, and Lazarus was one of people eating with Jesus. And there was Mary brought a pint of expensive perfume made of pure nard. She poured the perfume on Jesus' feet. Then she wiped his feet with her hair, and the sweet smell from the perfume filled the whole house. Judas Iscariot, one of Jesus' followers, was there, the one who would later hand Jesus over to his enemies. Judas said the perfume was worth a full year's pay. It should have been sold, and the money should have been given to the poor people. The story is in the Gospel of John, chapter 12, verse 1 to 5. Judas was this much practical and realistic and reasonable. Then we can ask ourselves how this logical and rational Judas ended up selling his teacher. Many people think Judas was not only wise and rational, but also cold-hearted in a sense. Also, he was a perfectionist. He was strong in mind and heart. He would not accept the failure of his own or any other persons around him. Judas could not stand any small failure or fault. Everything should be in order, and everything should be perfect and reasonable and practical and realistic. Therefore, with overwhelming guilt feeling of Judas, after selling his teacher, there was only one option for him: killing himself. There was no space for forgiving himself in his mind. That was it. At the very final moments of his life, it was a clean end for Judas after the betrayal. There is another betrayal, Simon Peter. He was unpredictable and unstable and excitable. He made a lot of mistakes because of his hot and extemporary temper. He was not logical, not reasonable, and he was a least patient man among 12 disciples of Jesus. It seems that Peter has nothing could make him proud except his strong arms and muscles as a fisherman. Unlike Judas, Peter didn't have money. He didn't have wisdom, didn't have strong will for perfection, and didn't have courage to kill himself. He had nothing. He was a total loser. However, there was one thing that Peter had. He had tears. According to Gospel of Luke, Peter denied Jesus, his teacher, 3 times. And then Peter heard a rooster crow. Jesus was right there, probably heard Peter denied him 3 times. Then Jesus looked at Peter, and Peter looked at Jesus. Then Peter ran outside and cried bitterly. Some people would say tears for the weak and women. In the sense, Peter was weak. He just cried foolishly without doing anything, unlike Judas, who decided to act facing his guilt. How weak Peter is. He had a strong and big muscles, but he was weak. Strong Judas did not cry. Judas didn't shed a tear in front of his own death, and he remained and died as a strong man. There was no salvation to Judas. His betrayal entailed his death and end. But weak Peter's betrayal resulted in a new beginning. As human beings, our weaknesses are not shame. Apostle Paul thought he could be proud of his weakness. It is because Paul knew when he's weak, he becomes strong in Jesus Christ. We all know Jesus called Simon and gave him a new name, Peter, or Petra, which means rock. Rock represents strong instead of weak. And then Jesus said, I will build my church on this rock. The power of death will not be able to defeat my church. I'll give you the keys to the kingdom of God. Jesus sets up his church on Peter's shoulder. Basically, Christian churches are not on the foundation of logic and reason. Christian organizations are meant to be built on the foundation of people who realize their weaknesses and hopelessness and cry out to God. Christian churches are not based on the budget and well-organized plans. We need them, of course. But the essence of Christian group is founded in the faith that only God can let us overcome our weaknesses and hopelessness in desperate time and situation. That day, when Jesus got beaten up and betrayed by his 2 beloved students, it seemed that everything was collapsed. However, the tears of Peter would bring a new beginning of hope and strength. I think Jesus could endure all the pain and suffering watching Peter went out to cry, because Jesus knew something that he wished for has been started. It was certain God started new things through the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. I hope today's sharing could help you shape and grow your faith in God. Thank you for watching.
Rabbi, I will not fall away. I will lay down my life for you.
Will you?
I will.